The chef cooked up 25 points tonight. He joins us now. Steph Curry, Finals MVP. Love to throw that amongst all your other accolades in there now. But tell us about this team and what's been happening recently, right? Like I just said, winners in 13 of your last 16. You get Draymond Green back. It seems like you're getting healthier at the right time. How are you guys feeling about your rhythm?
A wild roller coaster of a season, on the court, off the court, and we've held on hope that we, could form an identity of how to win basketball games, how to be a consistent team. We know there's still levels to get to, but you continue to put yourself in a position where all we want to do is find our way into the postseason, with momentum and, like you said, with health, and take a swing at it. So we're doing everything in our power to control what we can control.
Yeah, when you look at this particular season and how things are going and how everything is shaping up out west, you know what it's like to win the championship. You know what it's like to get to that final goal. How do you guys feel like you are right now in your position out west?
We're confident, but you still have to go out and prove it, right? Like, every game for us, it's the most cliche thing in the world, but considering how our whole seasons went, it's literally, can we just win the next game that's in front of us, and how can we get it done? We understand that the West is tough. There's so many great teams that are playing at a high level, all the way through the standings. And then there's 4 good teams in the play-in, trying to jockey for position. So our identity has been being a great defensive team, and that connects our offense. We've done that really well over the last, 15 games. And it's just a matter of continuing to sustain that. And it's helpful to have Chris Paul back. It's helpful to have Draymond back, like you said. We hope Wiggs is back soon. And then we can, play our best basketball ahead these next, 6-7 weeks.
Hey, Steph, this is Teaspoon talking to you.
What's
How
happening?
are you?
I'm great, great.
Down the stretch, how important these games are. It's plain and simple. How do you keep everybody locked in on the importance of these games?
Just reminding them that, no matter what's happened all year, you can make something out of this season. We've seen teams, even as recent as Boston a couple years ago when we played them in the finals, they were a 500 team up until January, I believe, and then they took off and made it to the finals. So, it's been done before. We know we have to elevate our game to where we can play, or I should say where we can beat teams that are, at the top of the West. We haven't had a great record there, but that's the next step. And motivating everybody individually is, everybody's going to have a part in that. You've seen the way our rotations have been, recently, even through our winning streak. You don't know if it's your night or not, but if you can sacrifice mentally and physically to be ready for your moment, and plug the holes that we have, everybody 1 through 15 on the bench, you're going to have an imprint on our season. And that's how it's always been for us, and that's how it's got to be this year, too.
Steph, Sam Mitchell here. First of all, congrats on a personal level with the news. But what I want to ask you about this team is how gratifying with all these young guys. And you guys' system is not the easiest to play. We often say everybody in the NBA can't play for you guys, but when you see Kuminga, Moody, Trace Jackson, all these young guys now contributing. And now when you look at how y'all have integrated them into this team with their youth and athleticism, you guys may be a little bit better than what you thought you could be. How confident are you now that these young guys have figured out how to play you guys' defense? They understand the integral parts of the offense. They're moving, they're cutting, they're passing. How gratifying is it for you to be a part of these young guys now finally being able to integrate and play Warrior-style basketball?
It's extremely gratifying. J.K. especially has been such a key factor in us turning the season around. His athleticism, his ability to attack the rim. We love to shoot threes. We love to space the floor. But he's a guy that can put pressure on the rim night in, night out and leverage the space that we can give him. So he's just making the right plays. Moses came in New York, played amazing defense. Did it again tonight. He scored the ball at a high level. And we've catered a little bit of our offense to highlighting, those guys on top of, like you said, our system that we've been so successful with. So there's a little give and take there, and that was a big learning curve for us. us to utilize their strengths and join those with what we've done well this entire run. And that's the formula for this specific team, this specific year.
Last question for you here, Steph. First and foremost, I got to say what Sam just said. Congrats on the fourth baby announcement that came out earlier today.
He's still working, baby. He's still working on and off the court.
But here's the deal.
Might
right?
as well.
All-Star Weekend, right, with Sabrina Ionescu, but that's not the first time I've seen you have a shootout against a women's basketball player, AZ Fudd. That was amazing a few years ago. What does it mean to you? Why is it always important to be such an ambassador for not just the men's game, but also the women's game as well?
I think it's most important because we have the opportunity and the platform to just celebrate good basketball. Like, I know there's the semantics of the women's game right now and how much attention, and deservedly so, is on the game, how it's growing. But what Sabrina showed that weekend is shoot or shoot. Doesn't matter, what ball, what line. She came out there and really put on a show for the world to see. Wasn't afraid of the spotlight. And I think that's such an amazing and impactful message for the next generation of hoopers, boys and girls. Work on your craft, believe in yourself, have confidence. And she demonstrated that at the highest level. She put a lot of pressure on me to go out there and try to win that. So Kobe used to say it all the time. You try to leave the game in a much better place than when you found it. That's obviously in the NBA what I've done and try to do for these last 15 years, but it's also on basketball in general. And to support the women's game is huge. You got to keep doing it. So it's cool to see Coach Witherspoon on the bench in WNBA now. So we're gonna keep following it and see how it grows.
All right, final note, they say that Charles W. Barkley is now on social media. You have any tips for Charles W. Barkley now embarking on social media?
You better have somebody looking over his shoulder, making sure before you press send. You need to have a proofreader, not a filter, but somebody to make sure before he press send.
No, you said it right, a filter. You said it right, a filter.
He needs an editor, a copy editor for Chuck all the time.
That part.
All right, Chef, thanks for hanging out with us.
Congrats again,
Thanks, Chef. Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
Steph Curry, always a good sport, and obviously seeing the Warriors really hit their rhythm. Sam, he seems